Good morning, Gates. Glad that you guys are here. I will wait a minute before we get started. I will say this week, doing this every morning has really challenged me in a lot of ways. We are a later rising family, and so the challenge of getting up, getting presentable, getting Eddie up and fed has been stretching. And I know some of you are like, we get up at 6 o'clock, get over yourself. But I mean, it's just something different, and it's just really revealed, how what's the word? Much I treasure my own comfort and my own schedule. I'm just glad I have not forgotten. Knock on wood, I still got to do tomorrow. Almost caught me slipping today, but here we are. I'll give a couple more seconds, and we will get started. Okay. So it's February 25th, and our reading today is 1 Kings chapter 19, verses 4 through 8. So this is Elijah fleeing Jezebel. Okay, guys, I need you to have a seat. Or either sit there or you can sit with me. But you gotta make a choice. Alright. But he himself went a day's journey into the wilderness and came and sat down under a broom tree. And he asked that he might die, saying, "It is enough. Now, Lord, take away my life, for I am no better than my father's." I started reading at the wrong point. My bad. Wait. There's so much happening right now. I think Victor's about to walk in. But let me start over. Hey, I'm doing the thing. Okay. Just keep her down there. Y'all stay down there. No, just give me 5 minutes. What? Come here. It's already going. No, no. Can't you just keep her down there? I got stuff. I can figure out stuff. Okay. Real life, everybody. Okay, I'm going to start over. 1 Kings 19, let's go outside. Verses 4 through 8. Thank you all for your patience. He himself went a day's journey into the wilderness and came and sat down under a broom tree. And he asked that he might die, saying, "It is enough now, O Lord. Take away my life, for I am no better than my father's." And he lay down and slept under a broom tree. And behold, an angel touched him and said to him, "Arise and eat." And he looked, and behold, there was at his head a cake baked on hot stones and a jar of water. And he ate and drank and lay down again a second time, and lay down again. And the angel of the Lord came again a second time and touched him and said, "Arise and eat, for the journey is too great for you." And he arose and ate and drank and went in the strength of that food 40 days and 40 nights to Horeb, the Mount of God. This is the word of the Lord. Thanks be to God. Okay. No, just gonna get out. I can't. I got stuff. Oh my gosh. I'm just gonna move. I don't know what you're doing. What do you mean? It's 9 o'clock every day. This is a hot mess this morning. All right. That's not anything but the devil just trying to steal our moment. So, okay. Reflecting on that reading, the prayer that I selected for today, again from Every Moment Holy, is a liturgy for those who weep without knowing why. And it's a little bit longer than the other one, so I'm just going to read it at a pretty steady pace and pray these words penetrate your heart and really help you feel that we do have hope, and that even when we do face hardships that make it seem like not being here would be the better alternative, we hold on to a greater truth. There's so much lost in this world, O Lord. So much that aches and groans and shivers for want of redemption. So much that seems dislocated, upended, desecrated, unhinged, even in our own hearts. Even in our own hearts, we bear the mark of all that is broken. What is best in this world has been bashed and battered and trodden down. What was meant to be the substance has become the brittle shell, haunted by the ghosts of a glory so long crumbled that only its rubble is remembered now. Is it any wonder we should weep sometimes without knowing why? It might be anything, and then again it might be everything. For we feel this, we who are your children feel this empty space where some lost thing should have rested in its perfection. And we pine for those nameless glories, and we pine for all those wasted stories in our world, and we pine for these present wounds. We pine for our children, and for their children too, knowing each will have to prove how this universal pain is also personal. We pine for all children born into these days of desolation, whose regal robes were torn to tatters before they were even swaddled in them. Oh Lord, how can we not weep when waking each day in this vale of tears? How can we not feel those pangs when we, wounded by others, so soon learn to wound as well, and in the end wound even ourselves? We grieve what we cannot heal, and we grieve our half-belief, having made uneasy peace with disillusion, aligning ourselves with a self-protective lie that would have us kill our best hopes, just to keep our disappointments half confined. We feel ourselves wounded by what is wretched, foul, and fell, but we are sometimes wounded by the beauty as well, for when it whispers of the world that might have been our birthright, now banished, now withdrawn as unreachable to our wounded hearts, as ancient seas receding down some endless dark. We weep, O Lord, for the things that, though nameless, are still lost. We weep for the cost of our rebellions, for the mocking and hollowing of holy things, for the inward curve of our souls, for the evidences of death outworked in every field and tree and blade of grass, crept up in every creature, alert in every longing, infecting all fabrics of life. We weep for the leers our daughters will endure, as if to be made in reflection of your beauty were a fault for which they must pay. We weep for our sons sabotaged by profiteers who seek to warp their dreams before they even come of age. We weep for all the twisted alchemies of our times that would turn what might have been gold into crowns of cheap tin, and then toss them into refuse bins, as if love could ever be a cast-off thing. One might simply be done with. We weep for the wretched expressions of all things that were first built of goodness and glory, but are now their own shadow twins. We have wept so often, and we will weep again, And yet there is somewhere in our tears a hope still kept. We feel it in this darkness, like a tiny flame when we are told, Jesus also wept. You wept. So moved by the pain of this crushed creation, you, O Lord, heaved with the grief of it, drinking the anguish like water and sweating it out of your skin like blood. Is it possible that you, in your sadness over Lazarus, in your grieving for Jerusalem, in your sorrow in the garden, is it possible that you have sanctified our weeping too? For the grief of God is no small thing, and the weeping of God is not without effect. The tears of Jesus preceded a resurrection of the dead. O Spirit of God, is it then possible that our tears might also be a kind of intercession? That we, your children, in our groaning with the sadness of creation, could be joining in some burdened work of coming restoration? Is it possible that when we weep and don't know why, it is because the curse has ranged so far, so wide, that we weep at that which breaks your heart because it has also broken ours, sometimes so deeply that we cannot explain our weeping even to ourselves? If that is true, then let such weeping be received, O Lord, as an intercession newly forged of holy sorrow. Then let our tears anoint these broken things, and let our grief be as their consecration, a preparation for their promised redemption, our sorrow sealing them for that day when you will take the ache of all creation and turn it inside out like the shedding of an old gardener's glove. O Lord, if it please you, when your children weep and don't know why, yet use our tears to baptize what you love. Amen. You'll have a good Thursday.